Hey everyone, so quickly, I know my last couple of makeup tutorials have been a little bit more editorial and maybe not quite so wearable. So this is a look that I have been wearing a lot in kind of real life lately, to work or out in town for the night or whatever. So it might be slightly to some more people's taste. So it's kind of autumnal. It's using oranges, which I love. So this will of course suit people with blue eyes really well. Anyone who has warm brown eyes, it'll go perfectly with it because it'll be really in tone with their eye colour. And of course, because it is still a little bit red based, it'll still suit green eyes. So it's one of those ones that kind of go with a lot of eye colours. So yeah, try it out anyhow, and here's the tutorial. So for like my first layer today, I'm going to use this Maybelline Dream Fresh BB cream, and this is going to be my moisturiser and my SPF. This has a sun protection factor of 30, which I think is a really nice number. That's pretty much as high as you need to go unless you're in like really hot weather. And I usually just use my fingers when applying that. This gives a really nice glow to the skin as well, this particular one. So just put that all over. I make sure I get it underneath the eye area as well. So that's that on. I think this product is really good for those days when you don't really want to wear makeup, but you want to have something a little bit on to perk up your skin. But you can see there, it doesn't cover blemishes really very well. It just kind of gives an overall evenness to the skin tone. For under eye concealer, I'm going to use my current favourite, or go-to one, and this is the Mineralize one by MAC. So I do get very dark underneath the eyes. I can't really get away without using under eye concealer if I have any kind of base on. And then what I've usually been using to blend it in lately is a synthetic brush. This one is by Sedona Lace. It's the EB13. So you can see that makes a big difference, I think, to the complexion already, just having the concealer underneath the eyes. I'm going to use my Healthy Mix foundation. I actually haven't been using this too much lately because I've been testing out so many other foundations. So this is the Bourjois Healthy Mix. I'm just going to use one pump on the back of my hand. I love this because I know it's my bang on colour. It's a really close match for my skin, and that's what I want today since it is daytime. I'm going to use one of these traditional brushes just for a change because I almost never use these in tutorials, and just pick it up on the back of my hand. This one's by Autumnal Professional. It's a handy one because it's concealer on one side and a foundation brush on the other side, so it's good for travel. If they are still available, I'm not sure if they are, but if they are, I'll leave the link below in the information bar and also on my blog. So when I use this kind of brush to apply foundation, I always just brush down in the one direction. So this is great for anyone who maybe has a little bit more peach fuzz on the face and they want to make sure they flatten it down, or who has drier skin and might have some drier flakes on the skin and you want to make sure that you flatten them down as well and you don't raise them by buffing around, which can happen if you use the more rounded dual fibre or stippling brushes. Now for concealer, I'm going to use my Catrice one. This is one that I leave in my little kind of go-to drawer here on my desk, and it's one I find really handy. I just use this on myself. So I'm going to go in with my EB13 brush and just pick up a little bit, and then I'm just going to lightly bounce it over some of the blemishy areas and then just blend it in around. So the trick is here as well to just like have the brush barely be touching the skin, you're just very lightly buffing it in, and that way it won't leave any marks and you're not going to be like taking away the concealer rather than applying it. Now, so that's the base there. You can see everything's covered really nicely. I'm not going to powder my face though until the eyes are done, just in case there's any fallout, which is something I always do anyhow. Now I'm going to go in first of all for the eyes with this Catrice product. It's the Catrice Made to Stay Long Lasting Eyeshadow. It's one of their cream eyeshadows. It's a really lovely kind of bronze colour. This is 50 Metal of Honor. I'm just going to use my fingers to apply it. It's actually my first time using it, so we'll see how it goes on. Yeah, it's really lovely and smooth going on anyhow. I really have no idea about the longevity or the lasting power or anything of this product yet, because I only picked it up yesterday. For the main lid colour then, I'm going to be using my Amber Lights by MAC. So this is a really beautiful like orange based kind of gold, that one there, and I'm just going to press that over the base. So just like that. I'm not even worrying about bringing it all the way out to the very outer corner because I still have that base as a colour underneath. And it's nice having it a little bit darker towards the outer V. And then for my crease colour, I'm going to start off by using this colour by MAC. This is like, it doesn't look really anything special in the pan as such, but it's a beautiful colour. I'm a massive like orange fan at the moment. It's Ruled by MAC. So it's just like a kind of a burnt umbery kind of orange colour. It's like a slightly dull orange, but it's really beautiful. And I'm just going to use that above the amber lights. So just like so. I'm going to use a slightly lighter colour in a minute just to blend out the edge of that. I know orange is one of those colours that a lot of people shy away from. It can be quite scary. I'm the opposite. I love it. So I'm definitely going to balance out this underneath. Just apply some to the very, very tip of my blending brush, and this is the Sigma equivalent of the MAC 217. I'm not sure what it's called nowadays. Oh, it's the E25. And then I'm just going to apply that underneath the lower lashes. So I really love the look of a like diffused, blended out eyeshadow underneath the lower lash line. Trick though with applying eyeshadow underneath your lash line, the lower lash line, is to make sure that it's matte. Anything shimmery or glittery or anything like that can definitely show up any fine lines or any wrinkling or crinkling. That's fine if it's kept right up, like really close to the lash line. But if you're extending it down a little bit further like this, and you're like blending it into those natural crease lines, you definitely don't want anything that has any kind of light reflective properties in it. So to pack some black into the waterline, I'm using my Bourjois Contour and Light pencil. It's starting to get very small, but it's a black kohl pencil on one side. And for a pharmacy or drugstore or chemist pencil, it's brilliant. It's definitely on par with my MAC Feline or Smolder. So just tight line that as well, which means getting to the inner top waterline. So I almost just like place it on the waterline in the inner corner, close my eyes lightly and run it across, and it just does it for me. If you're a bit scared about seeing it happening, just make sure you don't poke your eye while you're at it. So one of my favourite matte browns at the moment is this one here by Mud or Makeup Designery. It's this one here called Espresso. It's nothing really like the Espresso from MAC. It's much warmer, much more intense. It's just a really beautiful, it's kind of like a more intense version of Handwritten or Embark. And I'm a massive Handwritten fan, but this kind of beats it a little bit. It's just so beautiful on. It really, really packs on really well. You don't have to build it up too much. So I'm going to use a smudge brush by NYX and pick that up on the very tip of the brush and run that along the lash line, so it's really going to be merging the black of the waterline in with the rule underneath. So it's not just such a stark contrast. And I make sure I bring it right into the inner corner. Having a dark eyeshadow as well underneath the lash line on the very inner corner it's handy, because you know the way the black in from the waterline can sometimes smudge down a little bit. It's not quite as noticeable if there's already a dark colour there. It's something that happens to everyone. You just kind of have to keep on top of it when you're touching up your makeup throughout the day. So I just think it's a really beautiful effect you get when you pop a dark colour to merge your waterline and the colour underneath together. Now before I leave down this brush, I'm just going to pick up a little tiny bit more again. I'm just going to run it literally along the outer, maybe a quarter or a third of my top lash line. Just add a little bit of definition because I'm not using eyeliner above my lash line in this look. Okay, now I'm going to go into the brown again, but with my blending brush. And again, just on the very tip of the blending brush, I don't want it to be too intense. I'm going to apply some of that brown into the crease. I'm just going to build it up slowly so I don't apply too much. I don't want to cover the rule totally. Now if you do find that you've gone over the rule a little bit too much, you can just wipe off your brush, dip it back into the rule and run that along the edge a tiny bit. And then just to finish off the eyeshadow, I'm actually going to go into this colour here now, and it's called Fab and Flashy. There, it's a pro product by MAC, but it's just a really beautiful light kind of golden orange, but it's like more on the orange side rather than the gold side. That's it compared to Amber Lights there. above it, and that's the Fab and Flashy. I'm going to pick that up and then run that just along the very outskirts, very, very lightly, to blow everything out. And I'm also going to use that on the inner corner. So this is kind of helping to conceal the natural blue I have there in the inner corner from my veins. It's kind of a bit of a cheat because orange does counteract blue because they're complementary. They're opposite each other on the colour wheel. So put beside each other, they'll make each other stand out much more. That's why this kind of eye colour makeup would be perfect for blue eyes because they're complementary. But placed on top of blue, like the veins or whatever, it cancels it out so you can't see it anymore. For a little bit of a highlight, I got this from Catrice as well yesterday when I was in Penny's. It's called the Made to Stay highlighter pen. It's more like a crayon, really. Yeah, it's just a very light kind of frosty pinky one. I'm going to lightly run that just underneath the outer edge of my eyebrow and use my finger to blend it in. I really like these kind of highlighter products. They're handy for quick application. And now I'm going to just apply plenty of mascara. I think I'm going to use my False Lashes Extreme Black by MAC and just pop plenty on the top and bottom lashes. I'm going to powder my base really lightly using a very loosely packed brush. This is the 131 I think by MAC. Yeah, it was limited edition, but Sigma has an equivalent, which I can't think of its name at the top of its head, but you can see it at the top of my head, but you can see it on the Sigma website. And I'm just going to apply a little bit of this Inglot translucent powder. It's a yellow tone though, so it's perfect for anyone who has a slightly cooler skin tone like myself, or if you have maybe more redness in your skin tone that you want to eradicate. So next for my eyebrows, I usually use my eyebrows to last once the powder's on because the powder can make them a little bit ashy, even if I have a product on them, so I wait till that's done and then I'll just go over with the product. So another colour from this same palette, the colour Taupe here, so it's a really lovely neutral brown, and I'm just going to run that lightly through the brows just to add a teeny bit more definition and fill in any gaps. And I'm just going to secure those hairs in place with clear mascara. So for a blush for this look, I'm going to use another eyeshadow colour, and it's this one here by MAC, and it's called Arena. So it's a really beautiful, light, iridescent peach colour. Really, really pretty. And I'm going to use it, apply it with an Inglot 4SS brush. I love this brush for contouring or highlighting or even adding a little bit of cheek colour. Lightly blow it out from the eye area. So it is kind of going all the way up to the temples, a little bit above. If you're obviously deeper skin tone than me, you could use a deeper colour. You could even use the Fab and Flashy, which was the colour I used, say on the inner corner here. Or you could use maybe something like Style by MAC, or any of those kind of deeper, slightly more orange colours. But for very pale skin tones, I love Arena. It's a beautiful cheek colour. If you want, you can bring it down a little bit towards the apples of the cheek, but I don't really want to go overboard. And especially since I have a lot of blemishes around the cheek area, it's nice to keep the colour away from it. But just because it's me and I always do this, I'm going to apply a little bit of contour. So what I've been using for my contour lately is this Bourjois Healthy Mix, no, it's not the Healthy Mix, Healthy Balance Unifying Powder. But it's in the darkest colour, the number 55, but you can see that there it's a beautiful shade. It's beautiful on darker skin tones. I use it a lot on more kind of medium skin tones, but I love this for contour for me because it's not too red or like even too brown or anything like that. So I'm using the same Inglot brush, and I'm not bringing it too far down towards the cheek again because of my spots. So you can see there, like my cheekbone, I can feel it, it's there, and then it kind of goes down. So I just do it in that outer area. So to finish off the look, what I've been using lately is my Oak lip pencil by MAC, and apply it kind of lightly around the centre of the lip and then just draw in the outline as well. And that's pretty much all I've been wearing on my lips lately. you know, so it doesn't transfer onto my braces. I'm going to pop a tiny bit of that crease highlighter just on the cupid's bow. Yeah, and that's pretty much the finished look, so I'll just zoom out. But yeah, that's pretty much the finished look, and that's how I've been wearing my makeup loads lately. So I hope you like this, guys. Let me just fix my fringe. Yeah, but that's pretty much it for now. So as usual, there'll be photos and a full product list on my blog, which will be linked to below. But in the meantime, thanks a million for watching, and I'll chat to you all really soon. So long, guys.